September the 7th, 2024. Guys, you're looking at satellite images over the U.S. right now. We've got a couple systems coming into view. This one did cross the Yucatan last night. It was sitting here in the last video. It's across here now, starting to sense that warm water, nothing to interfere with it, basically. And there's an entire line of thunderstorms that have set up along the east coast of Mexico. Now, right here is the rotation. We'll look at it a little closer, of the storm that's been setting there that I call Tropical System Blessing. Now, what's happened, you see this cool front's pushed down in central Mississippi. Now we have bright sunny skies and much cooler temperatures, very nice. Louisiana, you're still not quite past the push of that front yet. Neither is, again, Gulfport, Mobile, Pensacola, all the way down into central Florida. You're still getting some moisture off the system. Now, Mexico, you also are getting rain from the opposite side. This system right here could just go right up the through the Baja, guys, and bring moisture up into northern Mexico, possibly southern California, Arizona, and New Mexico before it's over with. I know you need the rain. You need it in the northeast, too. Guys, you're getting somewhat of a system, a little low front spinning out there and bringing you some moisture. We'll go to infrared and kind of look at and see how much that is. And I think what we're seeing, guys, is just this warm water that's left, even as we're getting in later into the season, technically, but not according to the calendar. But look at this. It's a lot of energy there. There's a lot of energy here. This storm is smaller than this one, but it's still very strong along just to the east of the center of rotation, coming across the Florida Peninsula, Alabama, up along the entire East Coast. Check this out. And going out of sight is that storm that looks like it's wrapping up. It's kind of dry on the south side, but Halifax, you guys in that area, pay attention to this one. And let me say this, the models have changed quite a bit from yesterday as far as strength and a little bit of change in the direction. But here you can see the rotation of the storm that's brought the cool air and all the moisture to the southeast right there. It really has moved around in a circle going on into the third week now, I think. I think prayers work. As many people, just like in the Old Testament, you get everybody together, you start praying about something, the Lord listens. He says, actually, we're two or more gathered. But we need this every summer. We don't need any flash flooding or anything like that, but sometimes you just got to take it. But guys, this is really welcome here in the South. And one of the models yesterday was showing the emergence of this storm, and it looked like what was happening in the models that this one was dropping south. But there's already storms forming all along this area. Let's take a look at that in infrared. And here you got it. These are very strong right here. So Mexico, you are getting some moisture you needed, even if this thing does not come straight ashore. Watch for low-lying flooding and landslides, though. But here's our storm setting right here that came across the Yucatan. It's still predicted to turn north and strengthen. And so wherever this storm is at right now, it looks like it's going to come right into that pattern and continue the moisture. Let's take a look at the models. And here is our U.S. Navy model called NavGem. You see that storm brewing right here? It's almost encapsulating this entire area of storms in this moisture. Watch this. Doesn't quite go ashore as far as it did yesterday. What is that telling you and what is it showing you? A much more strengthening storm. Look at this. Again, it looks like Sabine Pass as far as the center of circulation. That could change slightly over the next few days. But Texas, Louisiana, you're already soaked in this area. We've been seeing it. I've been concerned, even though I've been saying I love the rain and all. I am concerned about the low-lying areas with this storm coming up and the possible power outages, okay? Tornadoes, things like that. High winds, you're going to have to be ready. Now, see this storm right here? We're going to go to one of the models that goes past. I think this one's going to the 14th. Let's see, 14th. This storm, when it gets here, begins to strengthen pretty rapidly according to some of the models. But then it appears to be caught up in the front and pull out to sea following these two. We'll just have to wait and see. But let's look at those models too. Now, this is the Canadian model, the CMC. It shows basically the same thing, except here the storm comes slightly ashore, and that does not allow it to strengthen as much as we were seeing on the Navy model. But it bounces back out and does follow that Sabine River Pass, maybe just a tad further south or to the southwest than the Navy model. Also, it's showing the storm that I was talking about could strengthen right here. And we're going to look at the GFS and one other model just to show you what could happen in this area. If the high pressure holds up, the East Coast could have a big storm coming in. But if it opens up in this area just like that, it's going to curve it to the North Atlantic. But if it strengthens the way they're showing it, regardless of where it comes ashore, it's going to be strong. Now, the GFS goes out just a little further in time. We've talked about that before, that the further out in time you go, the less reliable a model is. But it's showing pretty much, as far as this Gulf system, the storm following the path of the Navy model and strengthening. We'll look at that one on the right. But right here, coming up, doesn't quite make it ashore, strengthens right up the Sabine Pass. When it gets dark like that in the center, that's just higher wind speed and lower pressure. But look right here. If that thing does not find that opening, it's projected to become very big. It's a good thing that we've got this cool front coming down, guys, because as predicted, we were going to be getting into some major hurricanes into September and October. And that's what the charts are showing. But that front that we're all very pleased with, the cool air, takes this thing, does a rotation like a U-turn and back out. We'll watch it one more time. Right there, boom, that's a large area of low pressure too. Now this is the WRF model, and it shows the emergence of the two storms here in the Gulf, and it's stopping right here on September 10th with the storm setting offshore of the border of Mexico and Texas right there. First you see that emergence, and then it stops on the 10th. But guys, just wanted to point out that we've got a couple storms that may come in here kind of strong. This one's setting in the Bay of Campeche now. If it merges with all that in the warm water, even though the air is cooler, the water's still warm. The deeper it is, the hotter it's been this summer, you still have that energy there. So we're just going to have to wait and see on this one, but it's getting kind of dicey in the Gulf of Mexico right now, guys. But you can bet that as long as the Lord lets me, we're going to be on top of this, and you're going to know exactly where it goes. It's a heads up. Be safe.